for whom I have a high regard as a batsman, made 26, 7 for 180. Well, that was a real beating for Pakistan, a magnificent performance from the West Indies in the first of these Benson Hedges World Series Cup games, 80 at...
Twins together for Australia. And Terry Alderman, the first rebel South African tourist, back into the Australian team. But it was Big Merv Hughes who broke through. Rami's out when the total was only 5.
Inside edge onto the stumps.
His first one-day wicket for Australia. Yusuf was useful.
Likes them there, and that's gone for many a mile.
This 6 broke a spectator's sunglasses. But Boone Brilliance made it 2 for 30. After Sajid Ali fell to McDermott, rain stopped play. When they resumed, McDermott struck again with the vital wicket of Javed for 18.
Magnificent delivery.
Salim and Ijaz added 43 before a second classic run-out. Salim gone for 44. Ijaz went for 37, then Taylor got Wasi.
Clever bowling.
7 for 155. The last 3 wickets went for 22.
Big Sherry's gone. They're all out, called out for 177.
Boone and Marsh began the chase in fine shape. Boone scoring at 1 run per ball.
Good shot, 4 runs.
But he fell at 27 after an opening stand of 52.
He plays it well. Close, it could be close. Could we run out of a no ball? How silly!
While new batsman Jones struggled early, Marsh looked good.
Given the full treatment.
This partnership blossomed through quick running between wickets, but Jones didn't need to run after this 6.
Big hit.
When Jones got a half-century, the match was in the bag with time to spare. Bill Woods, 10 in Adelaide, but not...
Well, what a performance that was from the Australians, and wonderful batting entertainment from the West Indians as well. A super opening partnership. Their final score of 220 was, I reckon, around 30 fewer than they might have made, but that was because of the refusal of the Australians to give way under the pressure. A lovely opening stand between Greenwich and Haynes. They're in terrific form at the moment, and the rest of the batting tried to get away from the Australians. The bowling was good, they took wickets and they bowled them out in fewer than the 50 overs. That was a real credit mark so far as Alan Border and his men were concerned. The bowling figures for Australia give a fair reflection of what happened. Alderman had 30 taken from 7. Hughes again bowled well, 10 overs, 3 for 48, and McDermott once more took wickets. That's very important in these games, not just a matter of containment.
So the last over to be bowled by Curtly Ambrose. The first time he's played at the SCG on the lights. The first time he would have played before a crowd of this magnitude. And here he has it all to do for the West Indies. 6 to win of 6 balls.
Absolute pinpoint accuracy. That's where he's got to be. Yorker's on off stump because he's got the man short there at cover. Carl Hooper is the one man who can really save the single on the offside. Malcolm Marshall is at mid-off, but he's back on the line, so he's really only got 2 men going for him, perhaps 3. He's got Viv Richards at mid-wicket and himself to save the single.
He's spot on target, Curtly Ambrose. This young man has such tremendous temperament apart from everything else. He's as cool as a cucumber there.
One danger area for Richards is his 3rd man. He's got his 3rd man very wide. Now, an edge here on the offside from one of those attempted Yorkers would run away for 4 fairly quickly. That could be a danger area for Viv Richards. He's got fine leg wide as well.
Just the one. Logie is in there like a terrier. Three balls to go, 5 to win.
Well, Australia have got the man that they want on strike. Ian Healy has been out there now for some time. He's on 21, so that's what the Australians would want. They want Healy on strike. Still, Richards has 3rd man wide.
Will they try for the second? They will get the second. Greenwich goes for the stumps because that's the only way he could have even come near to a run out.
Once again, he got the benefit of not quite hitting the ball off the middle of the bat. That had come off the middle of the bat. Greenwich would have been able to restrict it to a single. 2 balls to go, 3 runs required.
They've stolen it. They've stolen it by Dujon. So the last ball of the match, the West Indies need to prevent the Australians from scoring 2 runs off it. The last ball of the 100 overs of this match, and everything now hinging on this one. Curtly Ambrose to Craig McDermott.
1 run will get both sides a point.
That's it. Richards takes the catch in at mid-wicket, and is he happy? For one fleeting moment, as the ball came off the middle of the bat, it appeared as if Australia had to win. It travelled from the middle of the bat, but then Richards was in the way. He plucked the catch out of the air, and the West Indies win an astonishing match by 1 run.
He's been watching the Cosby Show too often, I think, Bivvy. And I reckon that's what Curtly used to do when he was doing the slam dunk as a basketballer. What a game. Craig McDermott.
Terrific game of cricket that was. High excitement up here in the commentary box and all round the ground. Just an absolutely fabulous day and night. The cards, it was a very good performance from the Australians. The final West Indian card of 236 showed Greenwich 57 and Richards 58. I thought Richards played very well out there, well within himself, and was just about to cut loose when Steve Waugh got him. And towards the end, Malcolm Marshall struck the ball quite beautifully for 19 from 18 balls faced. 236 in the bowling figures for Australia. Once again, McDermott was in there with 9.2 overs, 2 maidens, 4 for 38. An outstanding effort from him. 3 for 57 for Steve Waugh, a wicket each to Peter Taylor and Alan Border. I thought Alan Border might have underbowled himself out there today. I thought he bowled very well.
He's looked quite dangerous. He's going to continue.
That's taken, well taken too, low down. And the first Australian wicket goes as Carl Hooper catches Jeff Marsh off Curtly Ambrose.
He was looking unsettled right throughout this dig, Jeffrey Marsh, and trying to force away off the back foot. Just succeeded in getting an outside edge, and a good catch taken there by Carl Hooper.
Bowled him, gave himself too much width for the second time in succession, trying to hit through cover. And this man, Ambrose, a match winner for the West Indies. Beautiful bowling.
Ambrose, a very awkward proposition, always. I think the pressure of the scoreboard, sensing that he had to do something. Waugh tried a little innovation there. Doesn't always come off.
It's gone, he's out, caught behind. Yes, the big man getting some bounce, slashing, and Dujon doing the rest. And this young fella in front of 50,000 people, standing the enormous pressure with good line and length.
Yes, Bill, there's no doubt he stands tall. He's a long way up for Gus Logie to give me 5 high, but that's a thickish edge regulation. The eyes not quite in line with the pitch of that ball.
Ambrose continues, 35 runs for victory off 3 overs. Taylor's gone, he's yorked him. Clean bowled by the big fast bowler. 9 for 202.
The Yorker strikes again. 200 centimetres tall. By the time he gets the arm up in the air, somewhere about 3 metres off the ground. A huge angle, it's in there. Little swing, no doubt about that. That's comprehensively bowled and a little bit of a jig there to go with it.
Terry Alderman comes to the crease. The situation very awkward. Only 1 wicket remaining, and Ambrose picking up 4 wickets in a very hostile spell of bowling. It's got him, 2 in a row, it's all over. Ambrose gets 5. The West Indies bowling well in the final overs to bowl out Australia. A wonderful performance by the big fast bowler. Australia all out for 202.
That was a very good performance from the West Indians. They applied the pressure all the way through. It looked at one stage as though Australia might just fight their way out of it, and then Curtly Ambrose came back with Winston Benjamin and bowled that superb last spell, and it was too much for the Australians. The final card, 202. 35 runs short of victory, 47.2 overs. A good innings from Steve Waugh. He had a good all-round match, actually. Mark Waugh, 32. Dean Jones, 43, batted well. David Boone, 20. But then it all fell away. 202, the bowling figures. Very expressive of what happened out there with Curtly Ambrose, 8.2 overs, 1 maiden, 5 for 17. The Benson Hedges World Series Cup match between West Indies and Pakistan at Belrive Oval, Hobart. Welcome to the highlights. Welcome also to viewers in the West Indies, New Guinea, Europe and the United Kingdom. Well, the points table in the Benson Hedges World Series Cup before the start of this game had West Indies on top with a full 6 points. From 3 games played. They're also on top of the run rate. Australia has 2 from the win over Pakistan. Pakistan, so for the conditions, there was the storm, the covers were over the square and the pitch itself, which was good, but there was a delay. Play didn't begin until 11 o'clock. 1 hour gone out of the playing time. 43 overs aside. Now, Imran Khan is coming into bowl to Desmond Haynes. Your commentators, Tony Cozier and Bill Lowry.
And that's dispatched. It really was a bad one by Imran. Looked very much.
Wasim Akram doing a great job at the moment. That's what happens when the batsmen get frustrated. They know they have to keep the scoring rate moving along. They're prepared to take the risks. It seems to me, Doug, that Imran Khan's getting a lot of work on the ball out there. Seems to be moving it in. No, I think the 2 men behind square. Couldn't get that. Beautifully hit. Madassan Azhar looks to me as though he might be short of a run. 1 for 38.
He's got it through. That's gone all the way. Lovely shot by Haynes. And it's going to be the off spinner Tausif Ahmed, and he's coming on to replace Mudassar.
The fielding's not at top class. Should have been knocked down. And Haynes picks up 4 runs. 50 by Haynes.
That's gone. That's the first one. First 6 of the innings to Desmond Haynes. Well, he's taken to Tausif Ahmed at the Adelaide Oval last weekend, and he's hit him again over the square leg position for a 6. It's 1 for 122 after 27 overs.
Desmond Haynes looking very solid. They don't come much better than that. And that is a boundary struck with a great deal of power. Coming back into the attack. Brute power in that shot.
This could be it. 100 for Desmond Haynes. 12 one-day international hundreds. A fine performance, and what a great shot. Close, full pitch, that's out. Yes, he's got him. So hit down the ground. And with the Yorker, It's Haynes in front at the end of a fine innings.
That's hurt his toe as well, so he's got something else to think about. But the thing that'll please him most is that he's now got more centuries in limited overs internationals than anybody else. Right on the toe, good decision there by umpire Randell.
From the top order of the West Indies there, their final score 4 for 244. I reckon that is 30 to 35 runs more than they might have expected in this reduced overs match. Maximum of 43 overs available for Pakistan. Desi Haynes once again in terrific form. 101 before Imran had him LBW. 63 to Dujon. Nicely promoted there by Vivian Richards to run him back into form, and it worked. He'll be very handy to the West Indies side now, even batting down the order. Logie 40. 4 for 244, and the bowling figures disappointing, and the fielding I thought was very, very sloppy today. Imran 2 for 49 and Wasim Akram 1 for 35. The wicket to Madassa, and the others took a bit of stick, but there was certainly very little backup in the field, and I'm afraid Salim...
Just coming in to bowl at the river end.
It's well played. It finds the gap. 3 for 89. Roger Harper coming into the attack with his right arm off spinners. That's a great hit. That's a big hit. That's 6.
An attack he does this time over the square leg fence. And that's what Pakistan need. They've got to get on with their job, and Salim playing a great sweep shot straight towards the scoreboard.
He's going after him. He's hit that. There's a man out there. It's wide of him. It crashes into the fence. 4 more. So 6 runs off 2 deliveries. The ask is 10 runs per over. 50 runs. Superb innings under pressure from Salim Malik.
This has been a very good innings by Salim. Came to the wicket with Pakistan in all sorts of trouble, and he's played very well.
Full pitch, there it goes, high and wide for 6. Salim picking it up beautifully with the cross bat, swatted it over mid-wicket. 3 for 139.
Richards with the ball in the hand at the moment. Ambrose, I guess, is the pick of the bowlers.
Caught. Well caught there by Gus Logie in the covers. Salim had been trying to go over the top of cover. He'd done it successfully about 3 times, but not on that occasion.
Everyone seems to think there is just a little bit of justice in this game. Salim Malik trying for the team. What a fine catch. And Viv, he makes a jet.
Beautifully hit. That's 6. So he's gone for 2 sixes his last 2 balls, Curtly Ambrose. And he certainly isn't used to that sort of treatment on this tour.
He's given a tremendous belt, and off balance as well. It's a good hit. This is all part of the learning process for Curtly Ambrose. The odds are very much that West Indies will win the match, but he could be in the same situation in a game where they have a chance of losing. Fall off that, and that hasn't pleased Curtly Ambrose too much. Not going to please Malcolm Marshall either, because he got a belt on the knee. Certainly may have felt there was only a minimum of effort went into that.
Certainly would have hurt the shins of Malcolm Marshall. Going on the half volley, trying to get the side of the leg around and to block the 4. Failing to do so, but collecting it on the side of the knee.
And another 4. 14 from the over from Ambrose. Pakistan 6 for 223.
19 to win.
Man down there and takes it Carefully and safely, Courtney Walsh. Winston Benjamin takes the wicket. Imran has to go. And just one ball to go. Imran Khan, the skipper, after a brave effort and a great partnership with Wasim Akram, has holed out.
Imran has certainly played some attacking cricket whilst he's been.
Batting, needing 245 to win. Well, they got away to a bad start. There was some marvellous bowling early on from Curtly Ambrose, and it needed brilliant innings from Javed Miandad, 62 in 78 balls, and Salim Malik, 68 in 63, and then Imran and Wasim Akram putting on that marvellous partnership towards the end, 55 from just 31 balls, gave them a glimmer of hope, but it all proved to be too much in the end. The bowling figures make interesting reading because Ambrose started off. So the points table in the Benson Hedges World Series Cup, just to recap on that, with West Indies well ahead in these games, 8 points against Australia's 2 and Pakistan naught. And West Indies also ahead in the run rate, but Pakistan have swept ahead of Australia because of their fast.
Big shout there from Ian Bishop, and he's got the wicket for Rameez Raja. So it really has been licorice all sorts over.
Good start though. Ball nipped back a bit. It was a full length. Batsman shuffling across the line. Oh, that was fair enough. It was cutting a long way. Prue had no hesitation whatsoever. The first wicket has fallen to Ian Bishop. A great start for him. It's 1 for 12. Yusuf, the stroke player, loves to hit the ball, this young man. A real goer.
And he's bowled him. Salim Yusuf looking to belt that one out of the park. And he's maintained that off-stump line that Bill was just talking about and picked up his second wicket.
We watch on replay how close he gets to the umpire, the stumps. Cut back, took the off-stump, but not going wide, giving himself a chance of taking the off stump, and he did that with a very good delivery. A very impressive start by Bishop. Yusuf out for 2, and it's 2
before Christmas. Edged and caught. Second time, Richards picks it up. A third wicket for Ian Bishop, and Pakistan continue to slide. They're 4 down now. Richards dropping and then catching it, and another wicket for Ian Bishop.
Well, this kid can bowl. Make no mistakes. He is a very, very fine bowler. And Vivi Richards is a fine catcher eventually. A very solid nick by Salim Malik. And, well, it should have been caught, and in the end was. So, Malik out for 1.
Bishop with 3 wickets already. But he doesn't need to have that short leg fielder. It's gone straight to second slip. He's got his 4th wicket. This is an entirely impressive performance on his debut in the Benson Hedges World Series Cup by Ian Bishop.
Well, if you continue to move the ball away, either in the air or off the wicket, you will get edges. It's then up to the fieldsman to catch them. Greenwich did on this occasion. It took him a couple of grabs, but he did get it. And Pakistan, well, excellent batting.
Well bowled. He's learning the lessons of limited overs cricket pretty quick. Ian Bishop. 5 wickets for the innings.
Excellent piece of bowling. When the batsmen are swinging all over the place and moving their feet, the Yorker and off stumps, not a bad delivery, especially if they miss it. So Bishop strikes again.
2 great performances there, one by Ian Bishop, the young West Indian pace bowler, the other by Javed Miandad. The card of the Pakistan innings tells the story of what a good knock that was from Javed. 63 out of 9 for 140 in the full 50 overs. Also gives some idea of what difficulties there were in the pitch. 9 for 140, and the bowling figures. It was a splendid win for the West Indies. They've taken up here in Perth where they left off in Melbourne, and Pakistan felt the full weight of that today. Now tomorrow it's Pakistan against Australia. The card of the West Indies innings in reply to that 9 for 140 from Pakistan showed they finished with 3 for 142. Richie Richardson 50. Well, he certainly took up where he left off in Melbourne. He batted quite beautifully again today. 50 and 79 balls faced. Carl Hooper 33 from 60 faced, and the men out Greenwich 13, Haynes 23 and Dujon 10. 13 extras, 3 for 142 from 38.2 overs, and the bowling figures for Pakistan, they'd never had quite enough to play with. Imran Khan, none for 23. Mohsin Kamal, none for 56. He was expensive. Wazim Akram bowled very well, but I'm not certain he's going to be fit for the match against Australia tomorrow. 10 overs. Imran Khan won the toss and batted, which was quite a change from yesterday, where Vivian Richards had no hesitation in putting Pakistan into bat. The points table in the Benson Hedges World Series Cup, as the players went into this match, showed that...
First wicket with the score of 30.
Ahmed Malik, new batsman, comes out to replace the left-hander. Well bowled by Alderman. The outfield is fast. It was quick enough yesterday, but it's very, very fast out there today. Graham Wood is the fielder into this side in place of Mark Waugh.
It's well pitched up and driven down the ground. Desperate attempt there by Wood at mid-on. The ball into the fence for 4. So another boundary is recorded. That was a nice firm drive. Pakistan now move on to 2 for 61 in the 21st. Javed beginning to settle in. And to take up commentary now, as that one is driven down nicely there. Have a look at the attempt to stop a desperate lunge, but to no avail. To take up commentary now, it's going to be Ian Chappell and Bill Lorry.
Thank you, Tony. Good evening to everybody. And Pakistan just trying to lift their run rate. Mia and Javed steadying the ship, and that's a fine square drive. Simon O'Donnell over pitching. The outfield's fast, and that's 4 more. And this wicket has given the bowlers some assistance, but they haven't crashed through with a bag of wickets. 2 for 65, not a lot of runs in the 21st over, but it's not easy for the batsman, and O'Donnell over pitching and paying for it. It's well struck and beautifully placed. The outfield like greased lightning.
It's been an impressive batting performance from Ahmed Malik. He's getting better and better as he goes on. He's taken a leaf out of Javed's book. Early in his innings, he was prepared to let the outswingers go. But as soon as the bowlers have made a mistake, he's picked them off. And he did so beautifully on that occasion. Bill got it absolutely right. The placement was perfect.
And it's going to be
the run out.
It's well struck. That'll be 4.
Picks the gap very nicely. That's the hallmark of a good player. Someone who plays the good ones, keeps them out any way he possibly can. As soon as the bowler makes a mistake, he can pick it off. Once again, you see the example, perfect placement there.
And that's the way the runs have been scored.
Tony Gregan with him, Richie Benno.
That is a cracking shot. It was a lovely little short-arm jab to take him up to his half-century, and beautifully controlled in time.
Yes, it certainly was.
Good shot. O'Donnell will not cut that off. Well placed. 5 for 166. Craig McDermott comes back into the attack. We face Terry Alderman. Hit that. It's beautifully placed. He's done that on many occasions. When he hits on the offside, not only does he strike the ball beautifully, but he finds the gap.
Well, that's what he should have been attempting to do with the previous delivery, because there is that big gap there. And although he's hit this in the air, giving himself a bit of room, he's hit that very, very sweetly indeed. And that's raced away for 4. Great.
McDermott. It could be out. He's gone. He won't drop this. The end of a very, very good innings. Amir Malik out for 90. Port O'Donnell, Bowl McDermott, but a great knock.
Welcome back. Well, that was a great performance from Pakistan towards the end there to get their total up to 7 for 216. A glance at their card shows just how well they did it. Amir Malik 90 and 130 balls, given great assistance by Javed Miandad and his experience at the start of his innings. Javed made 31 from 64 balls, and towards the end Imran Khan hit lustily for 23 and as many balls. 7 for 216 from just 49 overs. Very unprofessional performance from the Australians there. 16 wides and 6 no balls, almost 4 overs bonus for Pakistan. Alderman 1 for 32, bowled well. Hughes 1 for 49. McDermott bowled well for his 2 for 38. And it was a struggle for the whole team there in the field. 1 or 2 efforts with the throwing, not quite what they should have been. And Pakistan profited from that to get up to 216 for the loss of 7 wickets from those 49 overs. Australia will only get 49 overs in turn. The run rate they're asked to go at is 4.42. I can assure you that's not going to be all that easy.
Wasim Akram, who elects to go around the wicket as he did yesterday. Very unusual to see the left-arm fast bowler come around the wicket. Well, it's a no ball, and it may have been called because it was over the level of the shoulder. That one came up from nowhere.
Yes, and that gap is big enough for a ball to go through. But I tell you what, he was lucky there.
Wonderful. Got him. Good bowling. No. Yes, he's gone. Caught behind. I thought the man was going to call no ball, but well caught. A good delivery and a good bowling change.
All sorts of catastrophes there, but the main thing was that Salim Yusuf hung on to the ball, but very well bowled by Wasim Akram. 7 for 152.
Craig McDermott takes guard. This wasn't Akram who's picked up the fighter. Ian Healy caught behind. A good delivery.
Well caught. McDermott has clipped that off his toes to deep square leg. And it's been brilliantly caught. Ejaz, the man who took the catch.
It's well timed, but this time the fielder looking confident, ran in and grabbed it as clean as a whistle and kept going. And a fine over from Wasim Akram. McDermott out for a duck. 8 for 152.
And he's hit that very hard, but he's going to be out. Ejaz taking the catch once more. And Merv Hughes can consider himself slightly unlucky because he really did hit that one well and picked out the fielder.
Extremely good hit from Merv Hughes. It was a slower delivery from Wasim Akram. Merv got hold of it very well, but that's a good catch. Ejaz, who didn't have a good day in the field yesterday against the West Indies, has taken a couple of excellent outfield catches. 9 for 174.
They don't get it. That's the match. Pakistan have won their first victory in the Benson Hedges World Series Cup. They've drawn level with Australia on 1 victory each. A vital win for them. They win by 38 runs and it's delighted the fans here, and no doubt.
Performance from the West Indian bowlers, not quite so good from the Australians, because it looked at one stage as though they were going to make 250. If ever they've had a good chance of doing so against these champion West Indians, this was the day. Well, the scorecard shows that, in fact, they lost 7 for 24 in 29 deliveries. A good innings from Jeff Marsh. That'll give him more confidence than he's shown in recent times. Jones was a bit of a mixture, and the run out of Marsh was very unfortunate. I'm certain it wasn't Marsh's fault, hitting it straight to Roger Harper's right hand and calling for the single to cover point. A good partnership between Wood and Waugh, 58, after Jones and Wood had put on 38. It was that Wood-Waugh.
We come to the last over of the match. The West Indies require 14 off that last over to win the match. He's bowling just what the doctor and 66,000 Australians ordered. Perfect delivery.
Excellent delivery there from Terry Alderman. He's a pretty cool man in a crisis, Terry Alderman. Good, thoughtful cricketer. And he got that one right on line. You can't be any more on line than to hit middle stump. Brilliant piece of bowling under pressure.
So Ian Bishop, the young man in only his second match in the World Series Cup. I wonder what that discussion could be all about. Well, give it a try. So he faces. And they'll look for a second. Off 4. My goodness, how a 6 would shake things up now. But this is a very big ground, the biggest that Ian Bishop would have played on, by far the biggest crowd he would have played in front of. Age of 21. Has only had 6 one-day internationals before this one. Beautiful return from Merv Hughes. 3 balls remaining, and this crowd now just waiting for the inevitable. They reckon they've got it wrapped up. So the West Indies need a 6 of either of these last 2 balls, and they also need a 4. So 2 boundaries, and the Australians haven't given away anything as far as extras are concerned. There's just been the 1 no ball. Sorry, just the 1 wide, not even a no ball. And the crowd knows it's Australia's match. There's 1 ball remaining. And it's Australia's match. Still 9 needed. And it can be got, of course. No ball can be delivered. There could be a wide, overthrows, but not tonight.
Well, wasn't that something? A terrific game of cricket with Australia just getting through at the end. They withstood the pressure, and it was absolutely terrific. The most marvellous catch by Stephen Waugh, and a very significant thing when Terry Alderman really wanted to bowl that last over. He came charging in. He wanted to be the one with the ball in his hands. It was a very, very heartening and good thing to see. The card of the West Indian innings, they needed 227 to win, 8 for 218. And 1 or 2 heroes there. Richie Richardson played a marvellous innings once again, 63 and 81 balls. He's a joy to watch at the moment with his beautiful stroke play. A partnership with Geoffrey Dujon, 92 in 120 balls faced, 48 to Viv Richards from only 55. And he looked as though, with a little bit of good fortune, he might have won the match for his side. In the bottom of the order, they fell away, but that was because of the run chase, and they finished at 8 for 218 in 48 overs, not 49. The bowling figures for Australia: Alderman, 9 overs, 1 maiden, 3 for 30. Very, very good once again. McDermott, 2 for 54. Welcome to the highlights of the West Indies-Pakistan clash at the Gabba. This is the first of 2 doubleheader matches at the Gabba over the weekend. The other one tomorrow is between Australia and Pakistan. Benson Hedges World Series Cup points table. The West Indies are still well clear, but with the season.
That's a great delivery. I think it came off the right leg, or maybe the top of the pad. It was a magnificent delivery. Gabba, as Bill Laurie is joined by Tony Gregg.
That's a good shot too. Amir Malik latching onto that one and smashing it back at a point for 4.
Good player, this guy. He really has got some shots. Good defence as well. This one just wide of the off stump. Malik onto the back foot and found the gap beautifully. One of the convincing shots of the morning's play so far.
Now that's a very slow first 50. 126 balls is totally unacceptable. You would reckon on scoring your first 50 in about. To continue to Amir and Javed. It's got away very, very quickly off the bat, and into the fence it goes again. Malik plays that shot pretty well. Anything just a little bit wide, he should perhaps go for a few more.
Yes, he certainly does cut well. Bishop's not slow. He was beautifully into position. He's well balanced on the back foot. His first movement's back and he goes back again. He just helps it on its way with perfect placement.
And another wide, and this could be 4. Off the fingertips there. 4 wides signalled by umpire Timmins. This is helping Pakistan.
Must be a worry for Vivian Richards, his bowlers today. They played so well throughout the series, but all the bowlers losing control, spraying the ball down the leg side.
To bang the ball away over cover.
Roger Harper continuing with his off-spinners.
In very good touch. He really hit that beautifully. It wasn't that short. Came off the middle of the bat. He enjoyed that.
Excellent shot. Wasn't all that short from Roger Harper, and it was directed straight at the batsman, so he didn't have a lot of room. He virtually just swiveled on his back foot and whacked it away over square leg. Great shot.
And that's not a bad one either. Perhaps he didn't intend it to go exactly there, but that was the general idea. And it goes down towards the boundary.
Up in the air, could be out. Richards will catch this. That's the end for Amir Malik. Fine innings. He's out caught Richards. Bowled Ambrose for 75.
Yes, he's played pretty well. A little slow at the beginning, but considering the fact that he's been injured, not a bad effort. So Amir Malik and his runner get a bit of a hand here.
Here's Bishop bowling to Imran. Four and nearly 6.
Bishop getting a little bit short there. Imran throwing the bat, and it's a lucky 4, but I mean it's just a little bit of an experience there from Bishop, and pitching a little bit too short and allowing the batsman to fling the bat out. That's been his major problem today, is a little bit short of a length.
Change in the bowling. Curtly Ambrose
Wouldn't have to latch onto it.
Well placed. Haynes does it well. My word, he's fielded brilliantly at backward point. Desmond Haynes.
Jazz and
That could be 6. That's a big hit coming straight down the ground. That's a ripper into the members. Winston Benjamin struck straight down the ground. The perfect hit. 5 for 220. 46 back from 1.
Well, there's the gap. The fieldsman moving in mid-on. What he's got to do is hit it straight down the ground.
He's crashed that over cover. What a shot. Beautifully played. 4 runs.
Well, he's quietly destroying Benjamin's figures. He was very tidy. 33 balls for his half century. Very, very well played. 6 fours.
6 fours and 1 6. And controlled, hitting the full face of the bat. Other games, he's in the game. That's a wide, that's 4 wides. The wheels falling off for the West Indies in the final overs. A little bit of panic and experience. Richards rushing in now from mid-wicket to come across to his young bowler. Take it easy, cool heads are needed. Wonderful recovery by Pakistan. Down the ground he goes, just the single. Haynes in. Wasn't backward coming back, he stumbled, he's got to be out. Stump, he's gone. Beautiful bit of fielding by Desmond Haynes. Hits the stumps on the full. Good attacking running, but the throw just too good.
Yes, well, that's not the first time he's hit the stump.
It's a big hit, that's going down the ground, that's 6 more. What an over for Pakistan. 7 for 246, a magnificent. He's got a hold of it. It's going out to mid-wicket. The sweeper's Harper. He's putting in the big ones. A no ball called, and it's 4 runs. Wow, what a finish this is for Pakistan. 1 more ball remaining. No ball called. Richards can't believe it. No ball and crashed away for 4.
Believe that if you hadn't actually seen it with your own eyes, that Pakistan could make that many runs after being in such trouble early in the innings. Just have a look at this card now. That shows them 7 for 258. Once again, the architect of that revival was Javed Miandad. He only made 38 today, but he was the one who steadied things after those 2 early wickets had fallen and after the run rate had almost completely dried up. Nice innings from Amir Malik again. He's a good young player, 75 for 119 balls. Imran, astonishing hitting. Beautiful striker of the ball and a great captain's knock there. His side needed him, and he was there, 67 from 41 balls, 7 for 258 from a full 50 overs, and the bowling figures for West Indies. This is where the problem was. Marshall 1 for 34, Ambrose 3 for 39. Those are the bare statistics, 2 wickets for Bishop, but have a look at those notes there just below the bowling figures themselves. 37 wide, so actually 28 wide balls, but 3 of them went for 4, so it totals up.
Javed is under it, and he's taken it very easily. So Winston Benjamin is gone, and Javed is delighted with that, as are a few of the other Pakis.
Yes, he doesn't drop many, Javed. Certainly not straightforward outfield catches. That one hits straight down the ground in the air, and Javed waiting patiently in the shadows down a deep long on, makes no mistake, and that is the end of Winston Benjamin.
Curtly Ambrose will be on. Oh, that is a joke. No, ridiculous.
Mind you, it's not the first one we haven't agreed with today, but it's true. It's about 1 stump wider of the leg stump anyway. That's a bit tight.
And right on line. Well, I think Imran said if you're going to call everything else wides, I better get it on the middle.
Well, that was just a bit too much for the West Indies. The ask was a bit big, and their card shows just what trouble they got into, even though they managed to keep their scoring rate up around about 5 and over. 203 they made. Top score Gordon Greenwich. When Greenwich and Richards were out quickly, that was pretty much the end for the West Indians. 203, and the Pakistan bowling was very effective. I thought Abdul Qadir did very well today. He came in bad back and all, 7 overs for 28 at a crucial time. Imran 2 wickets, Aqib Javed 2 for 49, and Wasim Akram, who's bowling beautifully at the moment, 3 for 27. So one of the problems out there today was the calling of the wides by the umpires. An awful lot of wides. There they are, the West Indians, 28 balls called wide and 37 extras resulted from that. There were 6 no balls as well. And Pakistan, there were 10 wide calls against them and 13 runs came from it. And it made the game quite disjointed. Playing condition 9, section B, says any offside or leg side delivery which doesn't give the batsman a reasonable opportunity to score should be called a wide. But the one thing it doesn't say in there, that there should be consistency shown by the umpires. And in my opinion, that certainly wasn't the case there today. Tony Gregg now is down with the 2 skippers and the man of the match in the presentation area.
Certainly are, Richie. I've got $5,000 here allocated by the Australian Cricket Board out of their Benson Hedges kitty, and these magnificent gold goblets, which are for the man of the match. And it's with pleasure that we give Imran the $3,000 for his team for winning. And you'll be pleased to know as well that you can take those gold goblets away and go and fill them up with champagne. Very, very well played.
Thank you.
All square now, and I haven't quite yet. Have you just worked out who's ahead in the run rate yet?
No, I haven't. We just assumed that we had to win our last 3 matches.
Obviously makes a big difference having the leg spinner in the side. Just
yes,
a bit extra.
I mean, we really looked like the wounded 11 today because so many injuries today. But Qadir, I thought, did a great job and at a vital stage for us. So I was happy with him.
Slow start and a really good finish at the end in terms of the batting. But what we were pretty critical of today, and I'm going to ask Viv the same question about the umpires. It seems to me that the Aussie umpires are getting a little bit inconsistent in terms of this wide bowling, and some of the wides aren't really that wide.
Well, I thought they were consistently poor. I mean, they gave such poor wides. I couldn't believe it, and I'm afraid the West Indies suffered more than us because they had quicker bowlers, and the angle after it pitched, the time it reached the keeper was much greater. But I think that there has to be some sort of proper ruling on wides, because today it was quite ridiculous.
Right. Well, thank you very much, and well played today. Right, well, I've got $1,500 here for you as well, Viv.
Thank you very much.
Bad luck. Just to pick up on that point about the wides, do you agree that they seem to have got lost a bit?
I personally felt, that we were a little bit hard done early on in the game, and for some reason the pattern was set, and they had us to continue throughout the match, but I think it's silly. When you look back and see some of the wides, that actually being called, it's just ridiculous.
Right, so you really reckon they should perhaps loosen up a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. I'm quite certain that they would have learned something from today.
2 in a row, you don't want to make a habit of this?
No. It's nice to get it out of our system now, because obviously, hopefully, we're hoping to get in the final, and when we get there, we'd like to know that we have all our hiccups now.
Right, well, bad luck today.
Thank you very much.
That's all from down here, Richie.
The Benson Hedges World Series Cup. Today's match is absolutely vital to these 2 teams, Australia and Pakistan, and what an incredible start Australia had to today's contest. That's a nice way to start. First ball from Terry Alderman. It didn't get up a great deal. First ball of the match, the second game, this double-header weekend, and a wicket for Terry Alderman. To tell you about that, Ian Chappell is in the commentary box, and with him is Bill Lauren.
Thanks, Richie. And this one has crept a little bit low. That brings Amar Malik to the crease, and he's been in tremendous form. Got a 70 yesterday, got a 90 against the West Indies over in Perth. On he's bowled him as well. What an amazing start. Off stump right out of the ground, and Terry Alderman is on a hat-trick, and a hat-trick of bowls he could make it.
You can't do any better than that. Straight at the stumps, the batsman playing back was late, the ball kept a fraction low, took the off stump. Amar Malik could not believe it, the man who scored 90 against Australia at the Wacker 75 yesterday, bowled neck and crop, and a sensational start at the Gabba for Terry Alderman.
And that was the off-cutter as well, so we've seen 2 off-cutters from Terry Alderman, and both of them spot on.
Cannot believe the start Terry Alderman getting the ball to cut back. He was late with the shot, nowhere near it. His feet weren't moving, and the off stump is put back.
And it's going to be Alderman who started the problems for Pakistan earlier today. He's hit that high and straight down the ground, and that's a big six. It's a huge six. It's onto the roof, straight down the ground. Boy, not only is he strong, he's got a good bat, and when he hits them, they stay hit.
That was a magnificent hit by Imran. In all my years of playing here, I've seen a few, and they've been by usually off slower bowlers, but he has given this one everything. I think after that he might need Abdul Qadir's brace.
He will be going for a big hit here.
Can assure you it landed.
He's hit that one over Boone's head. That'll be 4. Good shot. And that brings up the 200 for Pakistan.
Just backs away a bit there and whack. Hit it fairly well there. Straight into the boundary for 4. 203.
He's hit that one to Boone, who's got him. No, it's not, it's Border. Border's taken the catch off the last ball of the innings. Imran out. And so the Pakistanis remain on 203.
Welcome back, and Pakistan couldn't quite do what they did yesterday. Imran out in the very last ball of the innings, but it was a pretty good effort after that horrible start they had with the wickets going from the first 2 balls to finish up as they did. 9 for 203. Last man out, Imran Khan, caught Border, bowled Alderman for 28, made from 30 balls. That's still a very good strike rate. And once again, it was Javed Miandad who steered them out of trouble. 54 and 107 balls faced. A good knock from Ijaz, Salim Malik, and then Imran at the end. 9 for 203. Nothing like yesterday's heroics against the West Indians. And the bowling figures for Australia. A good effort from all those fellas. Alderman 3 for 27 after that sensational start. 3 for 31, Simon. Good win for Australia. Just 1 or 2 little hiccups here and there, but basically it was a good effort in batting, bowling and fielding departments. Just to look at their card now, they did it comfortably. McDermott put in there at the top of the order, number 3, after the first wicket fell, got 32 from 33 balls. That was for the run rate situation. And a good even scorecard all the way down. Nice opening stand between Boone and Marsh. They put on exactly 100 from 135 balls. 5 for 204, with Stephen Waugh coming in at the end. And Alan Border will appreciate the chance to get out there and bat, even if it's only for the 26 deliveries there, just get his feet moving and start to time the ball. He made 18 in that partnership with Waugh, and they put on 36 from 51 balls. They got the runs in 44.5 overs, and the Pakistan bowling figures, well, that's a fair reflection of what happened. It was disappointing for them that Wasim Akram chose today to turn in his worst bowling performance of the tour. 8.5 overs, no maiden, 1 for 70. He was all over the place, even though he bowled with plenty of pace.
This has been another presentation from Nine's Wide World of Sports.
Mark Waugh is in the side and Merv Hughes. But they know they have everything to play for today. Today must be their great moment on this tour. The Benson Hedges World Series Cup points table. The West Indies have 10, Australia 6, and Pakistan 4. And Australia's run rate is marginally better than Pakistan's at the moment, hence the need for Imran Khan's team to score very quickly when it comes there.
Nice deflection, beautifully played. The spraying on leg stump. The red glance brings up 4 runs. 1 for 92. Marsh pulls, that's beautifully played. Australia getting on top here at the Melbourne Cricket Ground with a...
In fact, that is bowling to Marsh.
Down to the boundary it goes, and Jarvid's not very happy. I don't really understand why he really is continuing with Jarvid, unless
it's going to be difficult for the bowlers for 2. He's bringing up the 3rd man. That's a danger. To take a man up out of the 3rd man position, it leaves a big gap behind that fieldsman if he gets off line. Always a dangerous pull, and rarely works that.
It's pulled away nicely. Beautiful shot that was.
That was a superb pull shot.
It certainly was, and one wonders why Jarvis is bowling at this stage. Sweep, not striking.
Bowled him. So that's the end of Marsh. That's not, it's Mark Wall. That's the end of Mark Wall. Bowled, trying to swing across the line of that one for 12. This is how it happened.
Ball spinning a long way. Very good delivery. Clean bowls Mark Wall, Torsif. 3 for 178.
Ball big appeal, that's got to be close. Yes, it's gone, out LBW. Both the Wars back in the pavilion.
Well, he's gone from ball wallabies to scorched almonds, Torsif, and the 1 over. He's taken a lot of punishment this series, and all of a sudden he gets a couple on line, a bit of turn. He's picked up the War brothers. Spinning a long way. Whether it would have hit leg stump, umpire Crafty thought so. War out for a duck. LBW to Torsif. 4 for 178.
So good.
Perfect way to bring up the 100. And that century will give a great deal of pleasure to a lot of people around Australia. He's a very gutsy cricketer, this fellow. A delight to see him back in form, have his feet moving. These runs are very important for Australia because, although superficially one knows it makes Pakistan's job more difficult, there is the added thing that Pakistan have to get their run rate up. And that's a thinking shot. Razi Bakram, the bowler. Marsh has given that some hammer. A beautiful stroke. This is a great assault by these players.
Just builds his run rate up steadily. I've seen him a few times in the late overs, in limited overs matches, hit the ball pretty well.
Oh, he wasn't really putting in the big ones round there, and I don't think his captain's all that pleased with him. Brilliant stuff from Jeff Marsh. The 250 came up in 263 balls, and the 50. Welcome back, and what a marvellous performance that was from the Australians. First of all, Marsh, and then Border. Border playing in splendid touch today, and then the rest of the side getting the score up to that final total of 4 for 258. 125 unbeaten to Marsh and 24 to Wood. That was a great partnership. 80 in just 49 balls faced, and Border 60 from 83 balls himself. Mark Ward chipped in almost a run from every ball he faced. Steve Waugh out for a duck, but it didn't matter in the context of the innings. 43 overs, 4 for 258. A marvellous performance, and so good to see Jeff Marsh back with his feet moving properly, and so too Alan Border. The bowling figures for Pakistan, they took some real hammer out there, just 43 overs gone. A very, very good performance with the bat. The fielding, well, I think it's better to draw a discreet veil over that. It wasn't all that good. Now, the situation with regard to the Australian fielding section of this game now is that...
Needed off the last over. Terry Alderman is going to bowl it for Australia. It should get 2. It's Stephen Waugh. Imran is slow. Good piece of outfielding there by... Imran runs for the bye, and he's out. What a great throw there by Ian Healy. Didn't take the glove off. He got the underarm away and hit the off stump, and that's a great blow for Australia.
Certainly was a great piece of work by Healy, and when possibly just not charging down the wicket and carrying an injury. See, it takes a long time to leave the crease there. That probably cost him dearly. In the end, he had plenty of time to steady, and Imran just short of his ground. Run out for 41. The end of a fine innings, 6 for 105 in the final over.
Porter is the one man in close in a position to save a single and keep Shoaib on strike. He's got it into the gap. Merv Hughes there at backward square. So 9 needed, 3 balls to go.
Some space there. 3 balls remaining, 9 runs. You have to put your money on Australia. The boundaries haven't come in the last 14 overs. They've defended brilliantly here. All the conditions favouring the batsman.
He's bowling. He's hit off stump. So Terry Alderman once again doing the job for Australia. He did it the other night against the West Indies. He's doing it against Pakistan.
And a lesson here for the younger guy. He was at the stumps. Wasn't Ackland's hit the stumps many times this year, and rightly so, I say. Beautiful piece of bowling right at the stumps, no width at all, and there it goes away, ricocheting down to the third man position. Well bowled, Terry Alderman.
That's it, a great victory to Australia. They certainly would have felt cheated if they had have lost that, because the match was reduced to a 19-over game by the rain.
108 for the loss of 7 wickets in their full 19 overs allotted in the end by the umpires, needing 115. So Australia won by a faster run rate. 108 for 7. Imran, an outstanding innings. It was all a bit slather and whack out there, but very exciting for the crowd here. 42 in 40 balls. Face. So 7 for 108 and 19 overs bowled there. And the bowling figures for Australia, there were some good efforts there, I tell you. They were on a hiding from nothing all the time there, those bowlers, and they did a terrific job. I thought Simon O'Donnell bowled well, 4 overs for 15, but there's no point in picking anyone out there. It was a terrific job from everyone on that list and all the players in the field. Because announced by the 2 captains. The Australians made 1 or 2 experiments there. They've kept Merv Hughes in, and Craig McDermott is back. Peter Taylor is there, and Mark Waugh has retained his place. The West Indians, they have also experimented. Richards, Haynes, Richardson and Arthurton comes in for Hooper, and that is very interesting with the test match coming up, as well as how they accelerated. They got away to a fairly slow start, and then Jones and Marsh, and then Mark Waugh and Steve Waugh all played extremely well. 5 for 215 from just 48 overs is a good performance. The bowling figures, so far as the West Indians are concerned, Marshall 2 for 25, bowled pretty well out there today. Patterson was all over the shop and didn't have a card, can show just how the Australians dominated things. 8 for 154, lovely innings from Desi Haynes, 58 in 80 balls faced, but only 3 other double-figure scores, one of which significantly was Gus Logie, 29 from 51 balls. But the West Indies in the end were batting out time. They got through to their 48 overs, a matter of pride or perhaps to make a point, but 8 for 154 against some excellent bowling figures from Australia. O'Donnell bowled.
Only Richards and a gully.
That's well bowled, and David Boone goes without scoring. His 9th delivery proves decisive. Australia have lost their first wicket. Boone caught behind without scoring.
That's a vital breakthrough for the West Indies. A fine piece of bowling. It was a nasty one. It cut back and reared. The ball coming back in. Boone trying to get forward. Got a thick touch. Dujon did the rest. That's a fine piece of bowling by Curtly Ambrose. Boone's been in good form. Didn't get much of the strike here this afternoon, and failed to get off the mark after facing 9 deliveries. It's 1 for 15 in the 6th over.
And LBW. Umpire must have judged that it struck the pad and then the bat, if it found the bat at all. There's the 3rd wicket down. Marsh goes. Attempted Yorker.
Hitting right on the toe. Steve Randell not in any doubt at all there. He was very quick to judge that LBW. So the West Indies openers doing the job here for their skipper. Australia 3 for 34 in the 12th over.
Out. He's got him. It's the wicket they wanted in the final overs when it counts Border. The end of a superb knock. Whips it straight to mid-wicket, the full pitch, and Ambrose once again has struck.
Full toss this ball and hit off the meat of the bat, straight to mid-wicket. And so that's the end of a very, very good innings from Adam Border. It's been it is a warm day out there. And he looks as if he's pretty warm himself. Well played, 5 for 170.
Well, what a marvellous catch. Steve Waugh wasn't quite sure what had happened to it. The West Indian players didn't know because it was encased in that great hand belonging to Curtly Ambrose.
He had no right to catch that as easily as that. He had nowhere to go. The ball coming straight at him. Just pops it over the shoulder. See you later, mate. Huge flash of teeth. Little twinkle in the eyes. But that was hit with a great deal of power. Bad luck about the accuracy. But Steve Waugh, tremendous hitting again. Almost a run of ball. Australia 6 for 200.
And that could be out, yes. So just one run conceded off the last over. A tremendous performance there by Curtly Ambrose. And that's the second time in this series that he's picked up 5 wickets in an innings. And he really has bowled the West Indies into a very good position in this match.
No doubt about that. Very adjacent. No daylight at all.
Ian Bishop has come in at number 10.
Well, that's well hit. That's a gap. That would have probably been 3 or 4 anyway, because that's the mid-wicket position. Hughes trying to run it down. Look at him go. What a trier. What an effort. But they run 4 anyway, but the big fast bowler gives 200%.
Forty runs required, 38 balls remaining. And when some of the top order batsmen sitting there in the dressing room look at that equation, or the runs to get, they must be hanging their head. Some of the shots that were played early on weren't too good.
That's a good shot. That's out into the gaps. That could well be 4. Jones is the fieldsman, not getting there. They need 6 runs and over. Surely Bishop and Ambrose can't get them up, but they're going to go down fighting. As Ian Chappell said, they need 1 top order batsman there now, or 1 batsman, to take control of this situation as the 2 tail-enders fight for these runs.
Hughes to bowl from the southern end. O'Donnell still has overs in hand, so does Border. But it's becoming very difficult for Border to bowl himself now.
Wow, how about that? A little deflection 4.
It's Simon O'Donnell to bowl. Good Yorker. Good Yorker. Curtly Ambrose has done a magnificent job out there. Not all of that applause will be for Simon O'Donnell.
No, he didn't pick the full pitch. It was another Yorker. It was there to be put away, actually, but he drew away, and it just, instead of coming forward, he swung across to the onside, and it took the stumps. A magnificent delivery under pressure, but it's not over yet. 9 to win off the last over for Mervyn Hughes, so they need a couple of boundaries. Reality as Walsh comes out, but Bishop's on strike, and what a finish. Pressure for Mervyn Hughes now. They need a boundary. He should contain Walsh. Walsh is the number 11, the batting bunny. The crowd, they can't stand it. It's enormous pressure. Merv, the hero, bowling. The outer standing to a man, cheering, stamping. Over the keeper's heads to go for Walsh. That's the unprotected area. Here comes Mervyn Hughes for the final delivery.
Border has saved it. It was a good shot. It went like a rocket, and if Border hadn't stopped it, there's no way the man...
Ground. A capacity crowd once again. A little fewer people than last Thursday when the Australians met the West Indies, and there was a lot of crowd trouble. The authorities have decided there will be 3,000 or 4,000 fewer people in today, but it is still a magnificent sight. Tony Greig reported the conditions were excellent out there. The pitch didn't have much grass on it, but it was very, very hard. No chance of the key going in. Looked as though it would be absolutely ideal for batting and might take a little spin. Now, the teams announced by the two skippers just before the toss. The Australians have included Mark Waugh. Graham Wood goes out, and Greg Matthews comes in. 3 spinners in the side there. It might just be a little bit overloaded, just a little bit out of balance. There's Peter Taylor and Border and Matthews now, and Hughes is there also with Alderman, Steve Waugh as well. And the West Indians, well, they've gone in with the same team they had.
So the new batsman is the West Indies captain, Viv Richards. And that's a missed chance, and what a missed chance. Second ball. Steve Waugh puts down his second catch of the day, and Viv Richards gets away. And we have a change in bowler. Greg Matthews is coming on. Now that's a big one. It's going into the crowd, carrying over long on for 6. And Viv Richards with a chance off his second ball. Australia could well rule that catch. And with this shot, Viv Richards goes to over 2,000 runs in one-day internationals against Australia.
Ooh, a big hit.
It's gone for 6, hasn't it? Yes, it is. Just over the boundary, a big one by Richards.
And that is a big hit, the SCG. They're playing on the far wicket here on the eastern side of the square. And that one went right over square leg. You've got to hit him pretty well to get it over that far. And Viv thinks it's going. He hasn't bothered to run. And he was right.
It's gone again. That's another big one. And Jones can't get out either. So Greg Matthews is taking some hammer here on his return to the Australian team. He's gone now for 3 sixes off Vivian Richards. It's 3 for 211.
Greg Matthews. It's 4. Richard was going to charge. Matthews saw him coming, pushed it down the leg side, and he swept it away.
Well, Greg Matthews opting for the slower one when he saw Viv stepping towards him. Viv was able up to the task. He's gone back on the back foot and pulled it straight to the fence.
It's going out past Jones. 14 runs off the over. 3 for 239. 50 for Richie Richardson. The 44th over. It's going to be Mervyn Hughes. Very expensive in his first spell. Coming back into the attack. Bowling! That's what they needed. Merv's got through the great player. Richards out for 53.
Well, that's exactly what Australia needed. They need wickets. West Indies have still got 6 more in hand. But to get rid of the danger man, Vivian Richards, bowled by Merv Hughes, will make it a little easier for Alan Border.
Welcome Welcome back. Well, wasn't that an absolutely terrific performance? The West Indians have always had this thing about the best way to win a match is to attack, particularly if you're down or if you've just been beaten, and that's just what they did out there. It was a tremendous effort, 9 for 277, getting it away to a great start with 99 in just 104 balls, Greenwich and Haynes. And then Richardson, 55 in 77, quite content to play second fiddle there to some of the other batsmen for a time. Logie was a little slow till Border picked him up there, caught and bowled again, and Vivian Richards dropped before he got off the mark, before he was bowled by Hughes in the end, 53 in 39 balls faced. Well, the wickets fell quickly towards the end, as will always happen when you have wickets in hand and a big total in the offing. 277 in 50 overs, and these bowling figures make interesting reading. Terry Alderman, the first time he's been taken to in this series so far, 42 from 8. Merv Hughes came at the end and took 4 for 44 from 7 overs. He had none for 28 from 4, but he bowled straight at the end, and that was valuable to keep the progression of batsmen going back to the pavilion. Matthews, 62 from 7 overs. Waugh, 45 from 8 and a wicket. And the two men, terrific performance by the West Indians. They controlled the batting side of things. They fielded very well, and they bowled just too well for the Australians. Even though there was that flurry at the start, the scorecard shows that the Australians, in fact, were beaten by 92 runs, but it doesn't show the full story of the West Indies' dominance. Boone and Marsh started very slowly. There was some good bowling from Marshall and Ambrose in the first few overs. Then they launched an attack on them. They got up to 57 in 62 minutes. So that was very good from Australia's point of view. As soon as Bishop came on, he took a wicket with the first ball, and things from that point on, you can just see at a glance at the scorecard, no one got above David Boone in the score. Things just deteriorated for Australia. They kept up with the run rate, mind you, but they kept losing too many wickets. 185 from 40 overs, and just those men at the top in double figures, the ones who mattered. Marshall none for 30 in 5. Ambrose none for 30 in 6. After those early overs where they were on top, Boone and Marsh did a great job against them. Bishop, 4 wickets in 10 overs. Courtney Walsh none for 40, and Carl Hooper, I thought, bowled quite beautifully. 10 overs, 2 maidens, 3 for 22. He varied his pace and spun the ball quite sharply. The first final down in Melbourne to Australia by 2 runs, and the second, the West Indians absolutely smashed the Australians off the park and won by 92 runs. This is the third match, and conditions, well, they were quite reasonable when the teams were announced. Alan Border, Jeff Marsh, David Boone, Dean Jones, Stephen Waugh, Mark Waugh, Ian Healy, Simon O'Donnell in place of Greg Matthews, Peter Taylor, Merv Hughes, Terry Alderman, and Matthews is 12th man. And the West Indians have been forced to make a change. David Williams has come into their side for Jeff Dujon, who unhappily is not well. He's down with the virus, and Roger Harper is still 12th man. Well, conditions quite good out there. When Tony Greig was there investigating the pitch, he said it was a good hard pitch, a bit more moisture in it. The only problem was that there were some storms on the way from the southwest of the state, and there was a thought that they might hit the Sydney Cricket Ground around about 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, Ian Chappell reported that Alan Border had won the toss and decided Australia would bat. And that was in spite of the fact that
And a resounding way to get off the mark for Dean Jones.
Well, it's going to be Courtney Walsh. And straight away the ball whipped away. Beautiful shot there by Jones down to the square leg boundary. Oh, good shot. That's Dean Jones, second boundary since play commenced. Well, he's got that one away too. Not quite as well, but will it reach the boundary? Yes, it will. Well played, Dean Jones. It's in the air, and oh, he dropped him. Oh, that one was hit. It went out flying down to Richardson. Got his hands to it. He doesn't drop many. Save 6, mind you.
He had to take the mark. He was up. He did well, knocked it forward.
And he's hit that one. Miles at 6. That's the 50 partnership.
A beautiful hit. Courtney Walsh dropping short and Jones picking it up.
whipping it straight over mid-wicket. A glorious pull shot. Short arm jab, whack.
Down the ground and wide of Ambrose for 4. That's a great shot. That is a remarkable shot. He just picked it up and lifted it over mid-wicket. And this is Malcolm Marshall bowling to him. That's a steepler. There are about 10 men coming under it. Who's going to have it? Williams drops it. Surely someone should have called for that.
Up a long, long way in the air. 4 fieldsmen converging on it. In the end, David Williams made the attempt. Feet slipped from underneath him. And I don't think he got a glove on it in the finish.
Well, that would have been a wide. He just managed to reach it, and it goes for 4. And every time he has a go, he seems to hit with enough of the bat that he finds the boundary. 5 balls remaining. Just missed. So they're running for everything, as they must. Picking up 2, Richards onto it. Will they try his arm? And they're going to. And successfully.
What a marvellous performance from the Australian batsmen there. Dean Jones and Steve Waugh and all the others in that lineup. They knew what they had to do, but even so, it's not all that easy to do it. But their scorecard, absolutely brilliant. First of all, you had Marsh and Boone, who added 40 in 80 balls. That was a good steady start. That was before any rain came or even looked like coming. And then you had Marsh and Jones adding 30 in 44 balls. All of a sudden, the complexion of the thing changed, and they knew they had to go for it. Jones and Border 67 from 54 balls, and Alan Border, a real little gem of an innings, 32 from 25 balls, and he played some glorious strokes. Then Jones and Mark Waugh a quick 15, and Jones and Steve Waugh 74 in an unbroken partnership in just 42 balls. That was tremendous stuff, and that last ball from Steve Waugh over the fence off Curtly Ambrose, that is the stuff of which heroes are made. Tremendous. 4 for 226 from 38 overs, and a great performance to set a decent target for the West Indians. The West Indies bowlers, Marshall 45 and Ambrose 45, Bishop 32 from him and 39 off Walsh, 38 off Hooper and 12 off Richards. Now the playing conditions for this West Indian innings, their innings is reduced to 38. 3 bowlers are allowed to bowl 8 overs, 2 bowlers can bowl 7 overs, and the field restrictions are in force for 11 overs. One thing I can tell you is that the West Indies will come out throwing the bat at everything, because they'll have one eye on the weather and one eye on the 90 runs they need in those 15 overs if they might be in the position of winning on a rain-shortened match.
Haynes hasn't had a touch, he's on 0. Richards has now got the strike on 1.
Great shot from Viv Richards. Just over pitching a fraction, and Richards is really out there to take advantage of those first 11 overs. The match reduced to 38 overs and 11 for the field restrictions.
They've scored 6 runs and over to win this match now, and it's not going to give the batsman much time to settle in.
Beautiful shot. That'll be 6. Good over for the West Indies, 2 for 20.
And that's 6. That's a huge hit way into the hill. Viv Richards has obviously decided that tonight is going to be his night.
That's just as big as the one off Alderman.
The West Indies were 2 for 47 when the rains came for the second time and the players were off the field for 82 minutes. When play resumed, the West Indies had to score a total of 108 runs off 18 overs. And they have 8 wickets in hand, but they also have a long tail. In fact, it's not going to be Hughes. He came over and wanted to get hold of the ball, but it looks as if Border is going to turn to Stephen Waugh. Oh, that's a magnificent shot. He's hit that in the air, and that's into the gap too. One bounce into the fence, and another boundary. Richards is on fire.
Viv made his intentions clear at the beginning of the innings before the rain interrupted. He got off to a flying start. He was 23 off just 12 deliveries.
And Peter Taylor is going to take up the attack for Australia. He's got that over the infield. There's no one back there, so another boundary to Viv Richards.
To the occasion, the captain, he wants to go through this summer undefeated. He wants to win the Benson Hedges World Series Cup. The Test Series maybe 5-0. 5 4s and 2 6s off only 35 balls faced.
That's a magnificent shot for 6. Turned inside out and hit that one over cover. What a great shot. His third 6.
There was no one hand to that. That was a calculated shot, brings up his 50. And have a look at this. Beautifully timed. He opened the face, and that's over almost a square cover at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Was pitching on about middle leg stump, and that's the shot of a master batsman. Skill, control, just natural ability.
That's a fantastic shot as well. One bounce over the long-on fence.
Brings up the 100, 2 for 103, but he's making it look easy because he's a great, great player. Is there a drizzle? Can it rain?
I think it's going to have to happen before the next ball was bowled in the way, the form this bloke's in. And perhaps he's decided that Desi should have the honour of hitting the winning runs.
It's a master innings, as Dean Jones did earlier. Played superbly. 3 magnificent 6s, 1 over cover. The last over was a gem. Everybody inside the circle. Peter Taylor coming in to slip. So they're going to give Desmond Haynes a chance to loft the ball over the infield for the winning runs.
And a magnificent shot goes into the crowd, and that brings victory to the West Indies. Desmond Haynes charging off the ground, and he waits for Viv. And they're not waiting for anybody else. So the victory goes to the West Indies, 2 matches to 1.
And what a terrific performance from the West Indians, even though they had the big advantage there of knowing they were batting second in a rain-marred match and that reduction of overs. Some lovely strokes from Vivian Richards. Their card shows how well Haynes and Richards batted. They lost those 2 early wickets, 2 for 4 they were. Then Haynes 40 and 35 balls, and Richards glorious strokes all round the ground, 60 from 40 balls, 2 for 111. They only needed 108 in 18 overs. And the bowling figures for Australia: Alderman 2 for 22. He'd almost bowled out his 4 overs when they came back after the rain. Hughes number 21, Waugh number 27, Taylor number 23, O'Donnell no wicket for 12. Well, the Players of the Finals award was shared by Desmond Haynes and Alan Border in these best of 3 matches. And here's the chairman of the Australian Cricket Board, Mr. Malcolm Gray, to make the presentation.
Congratulations. Congratulations, Alan. You can share it. Tony.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gray.
Congratulations, Desmond. I suppose that's going to go home with you. Alan's going to have to wait for his.
Yeah, I think Alan should let me take them, and then he can afford to get his down here because he's at home.
Well, have you enjoyed the Benson Hedges World Series Cup this year?
Definitely.
Congratulations to you, Alan. I suppose we all agree that the formula, it's a very difficult one to work out. We've obviously got to continue to try and find something that's more acceptable in a rain-interrupted game.
Yeah, it's just one of those situations that you know, when the rain comes, the side batting first is at such a disadvantage, and we've tried a few different things, but you know, to date, nothing's really worked, but maybe we can sit down and try and come up with a slightly fairer formula for the side that has to bowl second.
Even more difficult today because after that dryish pitch where it was very difficult to bat second, and we must say that he did improve the little scenario. Obviously, whatever he did, I think a little bit of extra moisture in the pitch helped a lot.
Yeah.
And so that made it even more difficult to make that decision, knowing that there was perhaps going to be some rain around.
Well, I've played a lot of the games and they predict showers and they never come, so we just felt that, you know, the way the wicket was, if it was a bright sunny day, the advantage was batting first and you know, getting a decent score on the board. But as it turned out, when the rain came, you know, our task was doubly difficult, and with the extra moisture on the wicket, it just played very, very well.
Thank you, Alan. I now have pleasure in presenting to the captain of the West Indies, Viv Richards, the winning cheque for $32,000. The West Indies, as they have proved throughout the summer, are a fine team of cricketers and athletes, and the Australian crowd has enjoyed every time you've gone on the ground, Viv. Congratulations to you and to every one of your team.
Thank you very much. Yeah, first of all, let me say to the sponsors, you know, for sponsoring such a magnificent tournament. Without the sponsors, I think, you know, it would have been nil. And we just hope, you know, that we look forward to their continued, you know, sponsorship, you know, so that we can go there and at least do some entertaining as we did tonight and throughout the series so far. I think we'd like to say thank you again to the people, you know, who have come and supported the games. It's been magnificent, and we look forward to seeing you. Maybe it may not be the West Indies, but continued success throughout. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Viv, and thank you too to the Chairman of the Australian Cricket Board, Mr. Malcolm Gray. Well, now I've got great pleasure introducing Mr. Phil Smith, who's the Chairman of the Benson Hedges Company, and he's going to make the presentation to Vivian Richards of that magnificent Benson Hedges trophy.
Thank you very much, Tony. It is a magnificent trophy. The Benson Hedges Company have been sponsoring the World Series Championships for some 10 years now. The West Indies have won on 5 occasions. Vivian, I'd like to thank you on behalf of the Australian public and the Benson Hedges Company for a wonderful innings tonight by yourself personally, leading from the front, and to both you and Alan Border for a marvellous exhibition of cricket throughout the one-day series. Would you please accept this from the Benson Hedges Company?
Thank you very much.
And heartiest congratulations.
Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Mr. Smith. Viv, before you go and fill that up with champagne and go and celebrate with your players, it's been a tremendous competition. You've enjoyed the atmosphere out there this
Yeah,
summer?
I'd like to think so, because it's sad, you know, because we suffered, I think, you know, when we went back out there to bowl those remaining 14 overs, you know, and Australia played well. And for some reason, the rain came again, you know, and it was reduced, you know, to 18 overs, and it gave us a chance, you know, to go out there and play the way we did tonight, you know. But I think for the series so far, we've had a magnificent series. I think both teams played some magnificent cricket, and you know, we may have won the cup tonight, you know, but I think the game obviously made that, you know, and it's just some blessing from the Almighty Father.
Well, thank you very much, and well played today. So there we are, Richie. That's all from down here. Vivian Richards has got the cup. He's no doubt going to hold it up for everyone who's waiting out in here and outside to see it. But isn't that a great, the Benson Hedges World Series trophy to the West Indies?